please let us know. Next topics we call the project of better communication in financial reporting. This is a kind of a comprehensive title for many small projects that are related to communication. So basically, under this comprehensive project of better communication in financial reporting, we have primary financial statement project, disclosure initiative project, management commentary project, and IFRS taxonomy projects. IFRS taxonomy project is basically we are developing a better IFRS taxonomy. That's a kind of a good delivery medium of our financial accounting information to audiences. So these 4 projects are being developed for the general project better communication in financial reporting. So let's go to the one of those 4 projects. That is a primary financial statement project. Objective of this primary financial statement project is improving our primary financial statements with a focus on the statement of financial performance, so-called income statement in the US. So if you see, there are 4 financial statements in the category of primary financial statements. So one of those 4 statements is a statement of financial performance. So we are focusing on improving this statement rather than statement of financial position, statement of cash flows, statement of changes in equity. Basically, we heard many good feedbacks from you. For example, the statements of financial performance are not sufficiently comparable between different companies. Non-GAAP measures can provide useful information, but transparency on these non-GAAP measures needs to be improved. Companies are saying they need some kind of flexibility to tell their story. And some users are suggesting we need a more sufficient disaggregation in financial statements. Based on these some important feedback, we are going to do with this kind of improvements, introducing defined subtotals in the state of financial performance, introducing disclosure of management performance measures, MPMs, and improving some kind of principles of disaggregation. So basically, we are going to suggest to you by introducing 3 defined subtotals in the statement of financial performance. There are operating profit and share of profit of integral associates and joint ventures, and profit before financing and income tax. These 3 subtotals will be defined in the statement of financial performance. We hope these subtotals will reduce your concerns on our primary financial statements. Also, we are going to suggest a kind of a more comparable classification of income and expenses for our financial entities. There are some kind of variety of what income and expenses are classified as financing items or investing items or operating items. So currently we are allowing so-called a choice of the classification of these income and expenses as operating, financing, or sometimes investing. For example, dividends paid. If the company's dividends paid, then they can be operating or financing activities could be classified as some subcategory of financial performance statement or statement of cash flows too. So there are some kind of options on this classification that lose some kind of comparability. That's why we are going to improve this kind of classification, especially for financial entities as well as general entities. Management performance measures, these are basically designed to reduce a kind of a variety of non-IFRS measures. Also, we are going to provide some kind of flexibility to entities. So we are going to increase comparability and transparency on these kind of non-IFRS measures. Also, we are going to provide some kind of disciplines on these management performance measures. However, we are going to also provide some kind of flexibility to the companies because these management performance measures or additional measures are proved to be very useful to investors. So we are going to deal with all those issues by considering this project. And the statement cash flows, we are going to improve some classification as we are going to do in the statement of financial performance. So there are these two statement of cash flows and the statement of financial performances, all the classification will be improved. Disaggregations, many users would like to have more detailed information and more transparent disaggregations. So we are going to provide more disaggregation on these financial statements. So we are going to provide some kind of principles of disaggregation and their guidance on their aggregation too. Next important topic is goodwill and impairment. We have three objectives on this project. First one is we are going to improve disclosure or simplify disclosures. Second objective is whether we are going to remove a mandatory annual impairment test, and also by introducing amortization method of goodwill that was removed when we developed the IFRS 3. Also, there are many issues, but basically Object B is simplifying the accounting for goodwill. Object C is we are going to improving the calculation of value in use by removing the prohibition on the inclusion in cash flow projections of future restructurings and enhancements. Also, we are going to permit the ex post value inputs for the calculation of value in use. So by improving disclosures, we may improve the information that will be provided to our investors, so they will get a more precise idea on the performance of the acquisition and the amount of goodwill on the statement of financial position, and also the impairment loss on their statement of financial performance. So to help those investors, we are going to suggest some kind of improvements to the disclosures for this kind of business combinations. So detailed analysis, you can see all these detailed disclosure discussions in our papers. The board have discussed for the past couple of past years. So generally, this issue is if we can have a kind of exemption of mandatory annual quantitative impairment test, just requiring only the indicator only approach. It will be a simplification to our preparers. There are pros and cons, but we're going to discuss in our board, among our board, to whether we are going to do that or not. Amortization goodwill is a very hard issue, but there are mixed views on our stakeholders. If you have any view, any ideas on this reintroducing the amortization of goodwill, please let us know. This is a kind of simplification I have explained before, calculation of value in use. So we are going to improve these simplifications with value in use. Dynamic risk management is quite an important concept and standard for especially financial institutions. This is very early stage. We are going to provide the information regarding risk management and how these management in financial entities, institutions will make use of their current and future economic resources. So we are going to provide transparency and some kind of performance measurement. This is a very early stage, but we are going to issue early discussion paper that will summarize our core principles on the core nature of this model soon. So whenever you see that discussion paper, please let us know your advice and your thoughts on this project. IBOR and the effects of financial reporting. I have explained this project in the beginning. So this is a kind of an urgent issue in many financial institutions. So we are going to finish this project as soon as possible. So this year or very early of the next year, we'll finish this one. Pension benefits that depend on asset returns. So the return on assets and the discount rate of their pension liability is they are sometimes different, because the asset return in this pension plan are depending on some kind of underlying pool of assets. So there are some kind of difference between these two rates. There is some problems on the comparability and some kind of relevance. So we are going to deal with that issue. So we are going to discuss the second half of 2019. Extractive activities, that's another big project for extractive industries. So we are going to deal with this project, but this is also very early stage. So if you have any issues, any ideas on this standard, please let us know. This is a kind of developing very early principles, ideas. So your advice will be always welcome. So we'll be respected by integrating your ideas with our ideas. There are supporting information. One of those supporting implementation is IFRS 17. And our TRG meeting have just finished last week. This TRG meeting was basically designed for helping our preparers and auditors and investors to understand IFRS 17 more easily, and that's why we have operated this TRG for the past 1.5 years. So we have finished this spring meeting last week. There are many good discussions among these TRG members. They will help our all stakeholders in the world. So this IFRS 17, as you know, we are suggesting 1 year deferral. So the 2022 will be the new effective date for this IFRS 17. So that's one of the amendment we are going to propose on this coming exposure draft that will be issued quite soon. So maybe in the middle of this year, that exposure draft will be issued. There are maintenance projects. There are very many, many projects, but most of them I have explained already. And you could consult with our webpage on the details of these many maintenance projects. Owner's contract, I have explained it already. And deferred tax, this is a very special issue for specific small companies. And there are many completed projects. So you could see IFRS 23, uncertainty over income tax treatments, and long-term interest in associate and joint ventures. And there are many, many. And we have finished the conceptual framework for financial reporting. And also there's a kind of some, maybe some amendments, I guess. All right, there are many activities are going on in London now. So you can help us. You can help us in many ways. So if you visit our website, and you can have all kind of information. Even you can join our foundation team. One of my member of the staff is from Pakistan, Umar. He's helping me with this presentation also. So I'd like to thank Umar. And you can join our foundation team, and also you can suggest any ideas, advice